There is a school in Florida that never appears on screen. Its absence is the film's central presence, a ghost structure built from memory, testimony, and the quiet horror of what was systematically erased. Nickel Boys is not about a place we see, but about a reality we are asked to remember. Director Ramel Ross, primarily known as a documentary filmmaker and photographer, approached this adaptation of Colson Whitehead's Pulitzer-winning novel with a radical restraint. The production deliberately avoided building a literal replica of the Dozier School for Boys, the real institution that inspired Nickel Academy. Instead, they filmed in existing locations across Alabama: abandoned buildings, overgrown fields, and stark institutional spaces, creating a composite geography of trauma. This wasn't just logistical, it was philosophical. The film becomes an archaeological dig through layers of American landscape, searching for echoes. The cinematography by Ross himself and DP Ben Bernhard favors a tactile, almost forensic quality. Light doesn't dramatize, it reveals. We see the grain of wood in the dormitory, the texture of clay in the burial ground, the way afternoon sun cuts through dusty windows in the administration building. This visual approach refuses to aesthetize suffering. It documents, creating an intimate and unsettling proximity to Elwood Curtis's experience. Elwood, played with devastating quietude by Ethan Harris, enters Nickel Academy believing in the moral universe of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose recorded speeches he listens to on a treasured album. The film's core tension is the systematic dismantling of that belief by an institution designed to break boys. His friendship with the pragmatic, survivalist Turner, Brandon Wilson, forms the story's emotional spine, a dialogue between idealism and a hardened understanding of how power operates. The narrative structure is itself a reflection of memory. It moves between Elwood's harrowing time at Nickel in the early 1960s and his life decades later as a man named Sidney, played by an achingly reserved Coleman Domingo. The past isn't a flashback, it's a concurrent reality. Scenes from the academy intrude upon Sidney's quiet present, a sound, a texture, a glance triggering the unresolved past. The editing doesn't transition smoothly. It jars, mimicking the psychological rupture of trauma. This is where the film's most profound theme emerges: the architecture of silence. The school's brutality isn't just in the violence of the White House or the forced labor. It's in the bureaucratic language, the filed reports that lie, the polite refusals to acknowledge what everyone knows. The system's power is maintained not through grand evil, but through mundane, organized silence. Elwood's theft of a typewriter ribbon becomes a revolutionary act, an attempt to record the truth the institution works daily to erase. The production leaned heavily on the testimonies of survivors of the real Dozier School. This research is felt in the details. The specific cadence of a threat from Superintendent Spencer, Nick Offerman, the hollow sound of a tin cup on a meal hall table, the way the boys communicate with glances rather than words. The film becomes a vessel for these testimonies, translating lived experience into cinematic language without exploitation. A key, almost subliminal motif is hands. We see hands being inspected for work, hands being beaten, hands digging graves, hands carefully holding a book or a photograph. In a system that seeks to reduce boys to laboring bodies, the film focuses on the extremities of agency and violation. Sidney's older hands, shown in his workshop, still carry the memory of those younger, battered ones. The score by Jay Wadley is notably sparse. There are long sequences with only diegetic sound, the crunch of gravel, the rustle of paperwork, the distant call of a bird. When music enters, it's often a single, melancholic piano line or a low string drone. It doesn't tell us how to feel. It amplifies the emptiness the characters inhabit. The sound design emphasizes isolation, even in crowded rooms. The film's climax is not a dramatic escape or confrontation, but an exhumation, The discovery of unmarked graves is presented with chilling matter-of-factness. The camera doesn't swoop or dramatize, it observes. The horror is in the plain reality of it, the simple, undeniable evidence of a crime the Earth itself has been hiding. This sequence ties the film's themes together. History is not abstract, it is buried in the ground, waiting to be acknowledged. Colman Domingo's performance as the older Elwood Sidney is a masterclass in contained emotion. He has built a life, a business, a home, a routine, as a fortress against the past. His stillness is a cultivated piece, but the film lets us see the fractures. A slight hesitation, a prolonged stare into the middle distance, the way he handles objects with excessive care. He is a man living adjacent to his own life, his true self still locked in that nickel dormitory. The film's conclusion offers no easy catharsis. Sidney returns to Florida, stands at the site of the now razed school, and simply is there. He bears witness. The final shots are of the landscape, empty yet full of memory. It suggests that healing is not about closure, but about carrying the truth forward. The burden of history is not lifted, it is shouldered with clarity and dignity. Nickel Boys ultimately argues that remembrance is an active architectural process. We must build structures of memory, where institutions built structures of forgetting. The film itself is such a structure, carefully composed, unflinchingly honest, and open for us to enter. It doesn't offer a lesson so much as an invitation to look at the empty field and to see the school that was always there. In its quiet precision, its respect for silence, and its faith in the power of a simple recorded truth, Nickel Boys becomes more than an adaptation. It is a memorial in motion, a necessary act of cinematic witnessing for a history that refuses to stay buried. Thank you for watching until the end. We pour our passion into every single video essay, exploring the stories behind the movies we all love. If you stumbled upon this video by chance, there is a very high probability you might never see our channel again in your feed. So please take a moment to hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and ring the bell. We are actively growing this community of cinema lovers, and your support is what helps us make our content better and more insightful every single day. Let's explore the magic of filmmaking together. See you in the next one.